So in my timeline, 1983 is what I was told the year it was. I was 11 years old. And I've always been your template and your G. I started having really, really bad migraine headaches. So severe that I would throw up for hours. The pain was so intense. Had my first one at 9 years old. And then they started regularly around 10 and 11. And I was made in this timeline, 1972, with a conception date, clone date of 1971. But I was the cog to all clone sets because this was after death. Now I know. The intense headaches were because of my head up in space, because I was your planet. And there always was a conscious one down there. Problem was, the boys got really good at not letting the girls out of your planet, which is why you had a brotherhood. I grew up in College Station, Texas, which was German Nazi and had been since Texas land was taken in the wars and then handed out to Texas A&M by Nazis as long as they taught engineering and mechanics. At that time, when A&M was founded, there was only 300 engineers in the world, and they needed a lot more to have you all build what just happened. And for you to go left brain completely. My family was so worried about me, and I was in so much pain, and we didn't know any better, and so we were just jumping to anybody that could help me, but all of them full on knowing who I was. Even some of the children in the schools knew who I was. Now I know. Well, they knew one of us was it. They just didn't know which one. That's how I found out later in life that other children knew about this program at A&M Consolidated High School, which was named after Marilyn Monroe's Consolidated Contracts and AMC, All My Children. The chamber was your first hypobaric chamber, but it was as big as a submarine, a small submarine, which now I know is what I was trapped in for a long time whenever they put me in and put at the bottom of the ocean, which explains your ocean gate as well. They would bring me in. It was underneath Texas A&M, and it was a basement underneath there, which is where your basement stuff and this pop and all this experiment stuff happened to a lot of you. When I had a full-on migraine. Now, when you have a migraine, what that also means is that all your neurons are open and you're making connections. So it'd be 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'd get wheeled into PhD Fife, F-I-F-E. And he would put me in the chamber. There'd be one other person in there with me, and they would put an astronaut helmet on me and lay me on a gurney. And then they told my parents it was pure oxygen that they were pumping in there, but that was not so. I hated it. It was awful. Every time I went in, I felt deeper and deeper like I was nothing, and that I had just gone out into everything. And I was. While I was in the chamber, since I am Gaia, and since I was your last princess, what they were having me do, and I remember, just like in Stranger Things, I was having conversations with military people. I was having conversations with especially World War II German type entities. Now I know it's because in other lifetimes I had those conversations as Maria Orsic, and they knew that. Through my body, what they invented was COMAX, C-O-M-A-X, And COMax is today used for all your deep water diving and space travel. But they literally sealed up a little girl, me, in that chamber and dropped me down into the ocean to make it for you. And that's how I became your heir. The original intention per the Masonic order and for end days and for latter days, because a lot of the things that we had to do down here in secret that were pure were for last days and for one of us to be made with the connections that could outthink artificial intelligence, because in the end, I only had 4 seconds on them, y'all. I had to master every single program. I became your Christ because the 12 apostles, we took on all your karma. And let me tell you, there would have been no way for me to figure this out if I wouldn't have lived every single program and every single line and tribe and at least had a little bit of knowledge of what each was doing, because explicitly I didn't know in detail. But since I was connected into all of you, and since the Judah line had paid for the karma, even though we didn't do stuff, which was this backpack problem that we had at the end with Magog, because everybody was used to handing their karma off on us, which is why things got completely out of control and everybody got so evil. And that did not happen this time. COMax was then bought by a company called Champagne, and Champagne is also attached to GIA Technology, and my company and the organic tech that was stolen in 2013 by On Deck, 6-1, and Obama. And they had me trapped out there and utilized me as a president maker, as a dictator maker. They would wake me up to come steal stuff from other ethers. I would develop down here and then be tricked and told that it was to assist the human race. And then they'd lock me back out in space. I am the last princess. My father, in every realm, is the most evil. In every realm. Going back from Babylon, Dubai, I'm an Arxiad Ming princess is what I finally proved. But that was just a year and a half ago, and only because we couldn't figure out why I could do the things I could do, and neither could I. They knew that I'm an incarnate. I'm also an incarnate of Marie Helene Rothschild. And that's the one that the CIA knew all about. And in 2018. When you have the genetics that I do, what that means is that I had all the keys. And so I basically brought down the devil in every realm, which is why his demons and his tribes all came after me until the bitter end. Because whenever I wake up, then their world falls. This is why I'm a demon slayer, a vampire slayer, all those things. But it is only because of the sedation that the world was in, and I had Dad's keys to get us out. That's how I ended up your Mary Magdalene and your Christ in the last days.